$2,000 a month. That's the number everyone throws around when they talk about retiring in Malaysia. Now, you've probably seen it on Facebook groups, Reddit threads, YouTube videos. $2,000 a month and you're set for life in Malaysia. But here's the thing nobody tells you. That number is actually from like 2019 and a lot has changed. So in this video, I'm going to do something nobody else has actually done properly. I'm going to break down line by line what $2,000 actually gets a couple in Malaysia in 2026. Not a single person, a couple. And by the end of this video, you're going to know whether $2,000 is actually enough or if you need to rethink your entire plan. Now, before we get into the numbers, my name is Naz and I'm a real estate consultant based in Kuala Lumpur, and I've been helping expats and retirees relocate to Malaysia for years. I know this market from the inside, and what I've noticed is that most people who plan to retire here make the same mistake. They Google cost of living in Malaysia, they find some blog from 2021, they see the number $2,000 and they think that's it, I can afford this, let's go. But once you come here and you see and you start to actually spend the money here, the cost starts adding up and the number suddenly is very different from what you expected. So let's actually do this properly. Let's talk about where you're going to live, what you're going to pay, and whether $2,000 actually holds up. And I'm going to throw in something most people don't talk about. What happens when your visa actually requires you to buy property? Because that changes everything. So stay with me on that one. Okay, first things first. Malaysia is not one place. You've got Kuala Lumpur, Penang, Johor, Bahru, and then a completely different world on the other side, East Malaysia, which is Sabah and Sarawak, or their cities are called Kota Kinabalu and Kuching. Now, each of these cities has a completely different cost profile and completely different lifestyle. So when someone says Malaysia is cheap, that's like saying America is cheap. It depends entirely on where you are. So let's start with KL because that's where most people default to. So KL has two versions. There's the city centre, KLCC, Bukit Bintang, Petronas Twin Towers area, the postcard version. And then there's where people actually live. Mont Kiara, Bangsa, Damansara, Cheras, TTDI, proper neighbourhoods. Safe, modern, great amenities, but not the tourist bubble like the city centre. Now, for a fully furnished condo in these local neighbourhoods, let's talk about the prices. Good building, pool, gym, security, you're looking at around 4,000 to 5,000 ringgit per month. So that's about $900 to $1,200 at the current rates. Penang is a slight step down in price. Nice furnished place near the waterfront or in Georgetown, you're looking at closer to $700 to $900 a month. A little less if you look around properly. Now, Johor. This is similar to Penang. Around $700 to $1,000 gets you something very comfortable in a decent area. And with Singapore right next door, the value equation is genuinely hard to beat. Now, if we talk about East Malaysia, this is the one that most people completely overlook. And honestly, that is a mistake. Kota Kinabalu in Sabah and Kuching in Sarawak are two of the most livable cities in Malaysia and significantly cheaper than the West Coast. So a nice condo in KK or Kuching, you could be paying about $2,000 to $3,000 a month. That's around $500 to $700 a month for a genuinely good place in a clean, safe city with mountains. And they also have beaches and some of the best nature in Southeast Asia right at your doorstep. Now, the trade-off is real. Fewer expat communities, less international flight connections, and a smaller city feel. So if you need the city buzz, then East Malaysia may not be the one for you. But if you want peace, nature, lower cost, and a slower pace of life, then this is seriously an underrated option that really deserves some consideration. Okay. Now, if we go to the other end of the spectrum, like the top end of the spectrum, KL city centre, luxury developments, the bigger units above a mall, connected to MRT, these are like places like Pavilion Damansara Heights and stuff, right? Then you're looking at about 8,000 to 10,000 ringgit per month. So that's almost $2,000 to $3,000 a month just on rent before you even buy a single bag of groceries. The first decision you need to make before you touch the budget calculator is where do you actually want to live? Because this one decision alone can make or break your $2,000 budget. Alright, let's do the full breakdown. I'm going to go line by line for a couple living comfortably, very comfortably, but not extravagantly. So for rent, let's go with the middle ground. Nice condo, good area, not city center, about $1,000. Then we talk about groceries. So for 2 people, you can expect to pay or to expect to spend about 1,000 ringgit, which is about $250. And look, this isn't surviving on instant noodles. You're doing your weekly shopping, grocery shopping, cooking at home, maybe hitting the wet market on weekends, normal life. Now, if you start to go for really expensive groceries, premium, exported, imported stuff, then you have to spend probably $400 to $500 a month. So in terms of utilities, electric, water, internet, all of this comes up to about 500 ringgit a month to 600 ringgit. Everything is super cheap and good internet as well. The internet in Malaysia you're looking at is about 500 megabytes to 1 gigabyte per second. So yeah, for this, expect to spend about 500 ringgit, or let's just put it at $150. Now, in terms of transportation, now this depends completely on your lifestyle. If you're using Grab, which is basically Malaysia's Uber on a daily basis, then you're looking to maybe spend about 500 to 800 ringgit a month. You can also choose to rent or subscribe to one of those car subscription services like GoCar or Flux. Yes, that's a thing here. You can basically subscribe to a car like Netflix and swap it out whenever you want. So then your cost varies. But let's call transport at about $200 a month as a very conservative estimate. Okay, health insurance. This is the one most people forget to factor in. As an expat retiree, you're going to want private healthcare insurance. Now, Malaysia's private hospitals are excellent and genuinely world class, but you want to be covered, alright? For a couple, expect to spend about $150 to $200 a month for decent coverage. So let's add this up. Rent, groceries, utilities, transport, insurance. That's around $1,800 a month. Before you've eaten out once, before you've traveled, before anything unexpected happens. So that leaves you with around $200 for dining out, day trips, weekend getaways, the occasional splurge. Is that doable? Yes. Is it comfortable? That depends on you. If you're the type of couple who likes to go out for dinner a few times a week, take weekend trips to Penang or Langkawi, have a massage on a Thursday because you can, then $2,000 starts to feel a little tight. But here's the thing, $2,000 in Malaysia is not struggle money. It's real money. You can genuinely live a good life on it, just not a 5-star life. Your rent is the biggest cost here. Going for a slightly older condo in a great neighborhood will not ruin your experience or your lifestyle. Some older condos are way cheaper at around $500 to $700 per month. And those are some of the properties you should really seriously consider if you are trying to meet that $2,000 per month budget. Now, let me tell you about the part nobody talks about, the part that catches people completely off guard. Actually, before I get into this next part, because this is important, if you're watching this and you're seriously considering moving to Malaysia, hit subscribe. I put out honest, real information every week, just the stuff that actually matters. Okay, back to it. So, here's what nobody tells you when they talk about retiring in Malaysia. To legally live here long term, you need a visa, and the most common retirement visa is called MM2H, Malaysia My Second Home. It sounds straightforward, it kinda is, at the same time it's kinda not. Now, this is not like Dubai. You don't buy a property and get a visa automatically. You have to get a visa, and then some of this visa requires you to buy a property. That's how it is. Now, there are different tiers: silver, gold, platinum, SFZ, and each tier has different requirements. Now, nobody's going for the gold or platinum. Those are for high net worth individuals with serious assets. The ones most retirees go for is silver, and here's what silver actually requires. You need to place a fixed deposit of 150,000 US dollars in a Malaysian bank. That money sits there, it earns a little interest, and on top of that, you are required to purchase a property in Malaysia with a minimum of 600,000 ringgit. You can withdraw your fixed deposit or half of it to buy a property though. So that's $150,000 in a fixed deposit plus buying a property. Now, before you panic, let me tell you something that most people don't realize. That property doesn't have to be where you live. You could buy a property in Johor or Penang or KL or anywhere that meets the 600,000 ringgit minimum threshold, and then rent it out, and then use that rental income to offset your cost while you yourself rent somewhere else in KL or Penang or JB or in any one of the islands. Let that sink in for a second. You buy a property as a visa requirement, that property generates rental income, and you live wherever you actually want to live, or maybe even take a few years to try living in multiple cities. Now, there's also the SFZ option for a city in Johor. The fixed deposit drops to about 32,000 or 65,000 depending on your age, and the minimum property purchase price is about 500,000 ringgit. But the catch is you have to buy a property in Forest City. Now, is Forest City a good option for investment? That's a whole other separate video that I've made. I visited Forest City and I talk about the investment opportunity there as well. But the short answer is, it depends on what you're buying and what your expectations are. Now, here's where it gets complicated, and this is where I've seen many expats make really expensive mistakes. Every state in Malaysia has different rules on minimum property prices for foreigners, and each MM2H tier has its own property requirement. So the right property for your visa situation depends on which tier you're on, which state you're in, and what your long-term plan is. If you get this wrong, then you've bought a property that doesn't meet your visa criteria, which means you wasted money, wasted time, and yeah, those are two very expensive mistakes. So this is exactly why I always say, before you make any property decisions in Malaysia, talk to someone who actually knows the system, right? Talk to someone who understands both sides, the visa as well as the property side. Let's come back to the original question. $2,000 a month, is it enough? Well, here's my honest answer. If you're a couple who's renting a comfortable but not extravagant place, you're comfortable with that in a local neighborhood, you're cooking most of your meals, you grab for transport, you have insurance, yes, $2,000 works. You live well, not lavishly but genuinely well. If you want a bigger place, you want to eat out regularly, you want to travel around Southeast Asia every couple months, you want to be near to super luxury malls, then you're probably going to be spending closer to $3,000 per month. With that, you won't constantly be doing mental math. And if you're thinking about the city center, expat bubble areas, luxury condos, a car, then at least $3,000 to $4,000 per month makes more sense. But here's the thing that actually matters more than the monthly number. The real question isn't whether $2,000 is enough to live on. The real question is, are you making the right decisions before you even land? Now, what I mean is, which visa are you getting? Which property are you buying? Which neighborhood suits your lifestyle? Are you buying for investment or visa requirement? All of this question matters because I've seen people do the math perfectly on the monthly budget and then completely miss this setup. They come here, they rush into a property that doesn't qualify for their visa, they pick a neighborhood they saw on Instagram and realize they hate it after a few months. The monthly budget is the easy part, honestly. The setup is where it gets complicated and difficult. Now look, if you're seriously considering moving to Malaysia, not just thinking about it, actually seriously considering it. I know a lot of you are confused, and honestly that's not your fault. There's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of agents with their own agenda, and it's hard to know who to trust. So what I'll do is, because right now I'm currently slightly free, so I'm going to do this to help you guys out. Fill out the form and tell me your situation, your budget, your timeline. I'll reach out and we can have a quick 10 to 15 minute chat. Tell me exactly what you need help with. I will point you in the right direction, whether to trusted agents or trusted MM2H agents, property agents, whatever you need. I'll just point you in the right direction. I know how overwhelming this process can be, and 15 minutes of the right information can save you months of going in circle. You can scan this QR code, link is in the description. Only fill out the form if you're seriously considering moving. And if you're not ready yet, you can grab the free starter kit. It's also in the description. It walks you through the basics of moving to Malaysia so you know what you're actually dealing with before you make any decisions. Alright, that's the answer on $2,000 a month in Malaysia in 2026. If this helped you, hit that like button. It actually helps more people find this video and watch this, right? So subscribe if you want more honest Malaysia content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Oh, and if you want to know what are the best cities to retire in Malaysia, check out these videos.